Hello and welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to cut this piece of agate. It's a plume type agate, white and bluish. It's got a little bit of fortification around the outside edge. It's not very big. It's got this nice pattern over here. It's like tubes. I don't know how much they're going to come out, but you can see a little bit of them right here. And but I got this down in Macanda yesterday. Today's the 9th? Yeah, 9th. Today's the 9th of June. I'm gonna go ahead and, I had this already stuck in here, but then I realized I couldn't show it to you. I'm also want to cut this one. I got this one while I was down there too. This is a waterline agate. You can see the water line down here on this lower half. And on the back, but I'm not sure how far it goes in and what the rest of this is going to look like. I'm going to have to cut this one on my water saw, where I'm going to cut this one in my oil saw. This one's too big to fit in my clamp. My clamp's not even wide enough to accept this one, but because this end is tapered off to the sides, I can clamp it in right here with some wood wedges behind it to make it steady. I had it in there, but I took it out. I'm gonna have to loosen these up a little bit before I can get it back in the way I had it, without disturbing my, well, I don't guess it's gonna matter. I still got to put my wedges underneath there. Okay, I do believe it's going to stay, and I don't think I'm going to have to worry about the blade sliding off to one side or the other right now. I did do some redoing on my guard. I put some plastic on it. It's got these ridges in it that I don't like, and I stuck the magnets on there, but I didn't realize the magnets was going to be they're not opposite poled, but they're pretty much opposite everything else. It'll fit halfway on and halfway off the magnet below it. And this side over here, I think I'm just going to have to leave out. At least it's blocking it from going all the way over that way. And this one here just barely holds on, but it does hold on. And that way I can still see it from back on the other saw. I'll put this footage in there because I don't have to have the towels over top of it anymore. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'll make sure I tighten this down first. Okay. Okay, it's ready. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this camera off in between because it's gonna take 10 minutes for this to cut the first slab. And it's gonna be a real uneven slab. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything with it. I may have to just tumble it, but we'll figure it out as we go. I might need a piece of wood on there too to make sure my guide doesn't, or my guard doesn't catch and stop it from feeding. Here we go. Okay, I'm back. It's done. Let me make sure it doesn't have any tag end on it. Nope, it don't. Putting off chunks of that druzy though. So it had druzy on that top or bottom side, I don't know which. We lost our little fortification pocket in there. There's part of it there, but there's all kinds of fortification lines in there still. Oh, there is a tag end on that. Ha! Not very big, but I don't want it. There we go. Let's put this in the oil dry, and I'll set it up for another round. I'm probably only going to get 2 more slabs before I have to cut it out, take it out of there and glue it to a board and turn it around and cut the other side. But I'll do that off camera. I'm not going to worry about boring you guys with it. Okay. There you go. Next round. I'll see you when it's done. Okay, we got another one done. I can see the big start on that one. It's gonna come off pretty easy though. Ooh, there's some fractures running through this part. There's the next one. You can see the fracture. The fracture running down this way. Fracture running down this way. Fracture over here running down this way. 3 fractures right in there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make anything out of that. Maybe this part here, that's the biggest part that's left. I might be able to get a small one out of here. Small oval, freeform. Or I could polish it as a sample, stabilize it and polish it as a sample. It doesn't look bad with all that druzy on there. That druzy's nice and shiny and clean. Well, it could be cleaner, but okay. I guess I could have shut that off so you guys didn't have to listen to it, huh? Another squirrel. You know me and squirrels. Get sidetracked a lot. Let me pull some of these chunks off of here so they don't interrupt my stone moving or my vise moving back and forth. Okay, now I got to make a decision. Am I going to run this again, or polish the rest of it as a sample? Well, there's a fracture back here that goes this way. All the others kind of go this way. There's one that goes that way, but it's not. No, it comes back this way. There's one here. Comes back down here. And then there's this one here that runs down this way. And this one here that runs back here, but that one might be healed. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece off there just for the heck of it. Okay, now we're ready for the last one. I don't think I'll cut any more because I'll just polish that last piece up for a sample. It's going to have a good bit sticking out at a point in the back. But if it don't fall apart before it gets done cutting. I don't know how bad those fractures are. I haven't tried breaking any of it yet. I think I'll wait on that. But here we go. The next one's going. Okay, I'm back. This last one's done. Let me get this. If it's got anything on it. Put it on that side. There's the last one. You can see the fractures. Quite a few of them. I think that's the back side from where I was at before. Yeah. Well, it's not going to work that way. Yep, that's the back side. Thought it was. Go ahead and get this this other piece out. Wow. Can't believe I was able to get that loose with my fingers after tightening it with a pair of pliers. Guess I didn't have it very tight. Ooh, that was close. Almost dripped the oil on my rug. I did drip a little oil. Where it came from, I have no idea. It just dripped when I was looking, saying and it's not in the same place. It must have came off the end of the stone while it was in the rag here. Now there's the last piece. You can see fractures on it too. Not a bad looking piece though. But I'll polish this as a sample and just leave it like it is. That way if somebody else wants to try to cut it and make something out of it, they're welcome to it. Let me go ahead and put these in the oil dry. Move that out of the way and get this other rock out here. It wasn't as big. There's the end. I'll show it to you last. And I'll try to put these in the order they came off. This piece, when I cut it, I put it in the oil bath or in the oil dry to get the oil off of it. It was all in one piece when I put it in there. When I went to dig it out, it was broken. It was already broken half from drying out. And then here's the first piece that I cut off. It was a real thin piece, and I'm just going to throw it in the tumbler too. Although this druzy crystal on this side, I'm going to try to preserve that on some of these. I think. I don't know. It's got those good lines there, but this part didn't seem to polish very well. Let me go ahead and show you this back one, this last one, because I've polished it as a sample. You can see it's got quite a bit of pits in it, but it also had a bunch of fractures in it. You can see all these fractures here, coming up through here, across here, all over in here, down here, across down in here. That's why I polished this one as a sample. Most of these I'm going to have to break into smaller pieces. This one I maybe will get a bigger one out of. Same with this one. These ones, well, same with this one. I might be able to get a fairly good sized one out of there. Let me show you what it looks like with the light behind it. I don't know that I'm going to get very much bigger than where the light's coming through at its best right in here. Well, I'm not even going to be able to do that. It's going to get tumbled just like the rest of them. It'll either break up or not, but what doesn't break up will be smooth all the way around and better looking. I may be able to get a little bitty one out of this end. No, out of this other end. Down here, but it's not going to be very wide either. And only about that long. About as big as my thumb right there. But I didn't expect to get much off of that. That's got those two pieces. And this one had a lot of fractures. This is the other half of that one that broke on its own. I wasn't sure if I showed you the fractures on it or showed it with light coming through it. There's next to the last slab, or the last slab. As you can see all the fractures in it. I may be able to get a little cab here and a cab here. But the rest of it, I may be able to get a little cab here. Rest of it's pretty much going to be a waste. And that also depends on whether it's going to break properly or not. Now I guess I won't be getting a cab out of here, out of this end, because it's got this fracture coming down through here. And it comes out right there. So that's not as thick as it should have been either. Yeah, you see that broke off? Oh, I guess I should have showed it with the light under it, behind it. I should be able to get a good cab out of that. Right there. Oh, I wasn't looking at the monitor. This one I ought to be able to get a little bit out of. Well, maybe not. Nope. So that's got too many fractures in it. Let me put it off to this side. Same with that one. That one's got a nice little eye in it there, but it's awful thin right there. Oh, it's a big Jersey quartz pocket. I may be able to take that whole side. I can get a good one out of that. A little bit. Well, at least this far. Down to about here. Make it kind of bell-shaped. It's going to be thin. If it stays together. If it doesn't, I'll do away with it. This one here, I don't know what I'm going to be able to get out of it. Because it's got a fracture here, here. Several fractures down in here. It comes all the way up this way, and then this fracture coming up there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything out of it either. And it doesn't look as good on the other side either as it did on that side. This looks like a neat little piece right there. I might be able to get... Nope, it's got this fracture here. And it's just a chip. As you can see, it comes off here. Just like that. Oh, I guess it didn't go all the way down like I thought it did. Oh, that just took off the other chip. It didn't take off that chip. That's still this chip here. So it's even smaller chip. It's got a fracture here too that comes across. It's not on the surface here. I can't see where it comes out, but I may be able to stabilize it. It might just come back and around this way. Looks like it might. Well, we'll see what I can get out of that one too. I'm gonna go ahead and see where I can break it at and get that out of the way. And then we have the polished one. I never did show it to you with the light coming through it. I had the light on probably too long now though. Let me get my, it just takes a single A battery, or a AAA battery, single AAA battery. That's not going to help me. Grab my pocket knife instead of my flashlight. Flashlight shows it better. It's not a blue color either. That one's just a little bit of a blue color. Well, let me do it down here where you can see it. That has light coming through it pretty good. That's why I polished it, because of that. And it doesn't matter that it's broken, because it's just going to be a sample. It is a good looking agate if it just wasn't broken. And I don't think I need to polish it or stabilize it, because it's not going to do much good anyway, because of all the other stuff that I got to be doing to it or all the other stuff. The stabilization method, the only stabilization method that I have access to is putting super glue on it, and it's only going to go down in that fractured 1/8 of an inch tops, probably. That's why I usually wait till after I work a cab before I stabilize that cab, because as long as it's on the whole fracture going all the way around the stone, it'll still hold it in place. Whereas this one, I can't trust that to hold anything in place, because it's got even more fractures on the back. Or it looks like. So, and I can't tell if they come all the way through, but this is the part I was talking about right here. Right there where that circle of light's at. Right up in here. See if I can get it to, you can see how it's duller. Still got a shine to it, but it's duller. A lot duller. And I don't want to take it to aluminum oxide, because it's a white powder and it'll fill all those fractures, and then I won't be able to get it out too easy, so I'm not even going to try. But anyway, that's the video. Let me turn around here and face the other camera and hit a light so you can see me. That's the video. I still got the other lights off up here, but I needed it a little darker to make it easier for you to see those. Let's scoot back over here. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. You know the routine. If you feel like it. If you don't have to. It's not going to cost you anything either way, but still, I have to let you know. Or I shouldn't say I have to. I want to. I need more subscribers. But anyway, leave a comment. I'll turn the lights on. That's another reason why I've got the door open in the garage. It's cool enough not to wear my air, so you don't have the extra air or extra noise. Squirrel. Actually, bug. But anyway, stay tuned for the next one, which I'll be putting one out tonight. I'm gonna quit telling you what order I'm putting them in, because it doesn't seem to be working out the way I want them to sometimes, and other times it does, and sometimes it's harder to get them up if they're longer than it is if they're shorter. I finally got rid of all my old footage, so I don't have any more of that. Everything now is going to be new. It's all going to be these two pocket 3s. Actually, you can see they look just like that. I like these. This is much bigger than the monitor on the Pocket 2. The Pocket 2 was 3/4 of an inch tall, or three-quarters of an inch wide, and about an inch tall, if that. Actually, I think it was longer than it was tall, but it was way too small, especially when I had it up here, shining down on this. That's what I was using it for, because the volume, the noise reduction on the microphone wasn't as good, so I was dependent on this camera with this microphone. Actually, this is the second set of these that I had to buy. The first set I bought was not DJI. and they didn't work. They worked, but they sounded tinny. with or without the noise reduction on. Especially with these high-pitched tones coming from these steel wheels. And the saws were even worse. But anyway, stay tuned for the next one and have a good day.